What if I told you that in 1977, we received a signal from deep space so perfect, so precisely what scientists were looking for, that the man who found it wrote one word next to it in red pen, and that word has haunted astronomy ever since. August 15th, 1977. Ohio State University runs a radio telescope nicknamed Big Ear, a massive, flat instrument built specifically for one purpose: listening for a signal from another civilization. Most nights, it just records static, the background noise of the universe. 3 days after the recording, a volunteer astronomer named Jerry Emmons sits down to review the printouts, page after page of numbers representing background radio noise. And then he sees something that shouldn't exist. A signal spiking from a baseline of around 1 to 6, then E, then U, the telescope's coding system for signal strength, reaching an intensity 30 times stronger than the background noise of deep space. For 72 seconds, then gone. Never repeated. Not before, not since. Emmons circles the sequence of letters and numbers in red pen, and next to it, he writes a single word: wow. That word is the only reason most people have ever heard of this signal at all. But here's what nobody wants to admit. The reason this signal terrified and excited scientists in equal measure is because of exactly where it appeared on the radio spectrum. It arrived at almost precisely 1420 megahertz, the specific frequency of neutral hydrogen, the most abundant element in the universe. Scientists had theorized for years that if any civilization wanted to send a signal capable of crossing the galaxy, they would choose this exact frequency. Because any species advanced enough to build a radio telescope would already know this number. It's universal. It doesn't require sharing a language, just physics. Big Ear's design used 2 feed horns that swept the sky as Earth rotated. And the signal behaved exactly the way a real, external cosmic source should behave, appearing in one horn, then fading out in the pattern that matched Earth's rotation, carrying the telescope away from the source. It looked, by every technical measure available in 1977, exactly like what scientists were trained to hope for. So they turned the telescope back to that same patch of sky. Again and again. Over the following months and years, astronomers pointed instruments at that exact coordinate in the constellation Sagittarius more than 100 times. Nothing. Ever again. Not one repeat of the signal. Not one explanation of where it came from. Jerry Emmons himself, cautious to the end, refused to call it extraterrestrial. He said in later interviews that a scientist's job is to say, here is an interesting signal we cannot currently explain, not to claim first contact. But here's what nobody wants to admit. In the decades since, scientists have tried to kill this mystery with mundane explanations. And every single one has failed. In 2016, one researcher proposed that a passing comet released a burst of hydrogen gas that mimicked the signal. Astronomers checked the historical positions of known comets against the exact date. They didn't match. The theory was published, then challenged, then largely rejected by the wider astronomy community. Others suggested a military satellite, a classified terrestrial transmission that bounced off space debris. Every proposed explanation has run into the same wall. Nothing accounts for a signal this strong, this precisely on the hydrogen line, from that specific direction, exactly once, at exactly that moment, and never again. Which leaves us with an uncomfortable fact. Somewhere in the direction of the constellation Sagittarius, roughly 1,800 light-years from Earth, something sent, or produced, a burst of radio energy in August of 1977. It hit our planet's most sensitive listening equipment for exactly 72 seconds. And then it was gone. If it came from that distance, whatever produced it happened 1,800 years before it reached us. Around the time the Roman Empire still controlled Britain. We have no way of pointing a telescope back at that moment. We can only ever see the after. A signal already 1,800 years old by the time Jerry Emmons circled it in red ink. Nearly 50 years later, the WOW signal remains the strongest candidate humanity has ever recorded for contact with something not from Earth. Not confirmed, not disproven, just permanently, mathematically, scientifically, unexplained. Somewhere out there, whatever sent it either isn't sending anymore, or it's still transmitting, and we simply aren't listening in the right direction to hear it a second time.